Alright, so this is our new non-stim pump-based pre-workout.
A lot of people know that Alphagen has the stimulants and the mental focus agents, but they don't want to take it necessarily at 8 o'clock at night. So somebody who wants to maybe customize their stim dosing and wants extra performance, extra blood flow, they can take something like this. I'm not going to give away that one whole scoop. Yep. Good luck. To the dome. The average consumer, I don't recommend taking it to the dome like that. Most people will cough it right up.
I've done that for years.
So next one is the stim-based Alphagen. This is a completely different version than the product that we just saw. So this is our big seller. This is our flagship product. The biggest thing that we wanted to do on this, and you'll see on the label, is full disclosure of dosing. Let's see if I can get this in the frame. There we go. All efficacious dosing. So you can go to any research site, you can go to a million other websites, you can go to examine.com, and you can look up all these ingredients and say, you know, what is the desired dose? What is the range of dosing that most people are going to get a benefit from? You have these companies and they either overdose something super cheap. So like beta-alanine is super cheap and it gives you tingles. Yeah, and they put a bunch of fillers in it. So a company will overdose stimulants and cheap ingredients that make your skin tingle so that you feel it. Yes. And that's another big thing, is people won't take something unless it tastes at least decent. Flavoring this was almost impossible because some of the ingredients in there, like the Nupept specifically, so Nupept is 10 to 30 milligrams a day. We put 10 milligrams in a scoop. The reason being is that Nupept is literally one of the most vile compounds you could possibly consume orally. Most companies put it in caps. There's a couple new companies out who have Nupept listed in proprietary blends right at the very bottom of their ingredient lists, and they're all about, you know, cognitive recovery and brain power, but they're not disclosing the dose. Well, I can tell you right now, Nupept is so expensive and so almost impossible to flavor that if you have any scoop that's smaller than that, in terms of fitting flavoring agents in there, they're not going to be able to mask a 10 milligram dose of Nupept. We tried. So anybody who has those small scoops, you know, with lower dosed items, there's probably at 1 or 2 milligrams of Nupept in there. We have 10. Research shows 10. That's going to go just like the other one is. That's going to be a little powderier, so don't breathe. Yep, got a little dust there.
One scoop?
One scoop, yeah, you will never need more than one scoop of this. So the way that it's designed is at full research dosing for even a larger athlete, somebody in our, you know, in the 200 plus range, who's well tolerant to stimulants, to supplements, to things like that. One scoop or a slightly rounded scoop is the most anyone's probably ever going to need. Cool. We have it listed there that if somebody was, let's say, a novice supplement user or wanted to build up their tolerance to stims, you can take a half of a scoop or a third of a scoop, and the full ingredients are still listed on between 20, 40, and 60 dosing per label. Even in a half scoop dose, here we go, you're still going to get a research range of dosing. So if you take a full dose, let's say of, you know, you get 5 grams of creatine monohydrate in there, half a scoop is going to give you 2.5 grams. Well, the research shows, depending on your body weight, somewhere between 2 and 5 grams a day for the average person. Research on beta-alanine shows 1.6 to 3.2 grams. So we have 3.2 in one scoop, 1.6 in a half scoop. You know, things like caffeine, you're looking at, you know, between 3 and 9 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So for somebody like you and I, that's like 600 milligrams of caffeine. That's a lot of fucking caffeine. Where when you're looking at kind of a medium range of that, we have 400 for somebody like us, versus a half scoop you're looking at 200 for 120, 150 pound person. It's going to be more than enough. Obviously everybody's tolerance to stims is different, but when you're looking at what the research shows, that dose is not only good for endurance and cognitive capabilities, but when you're getting into that 200 to 400 range on a bigger person, you're looking at power and strength output as well, which people,
pain reception, perception,
decreased pain reception, that kind of stuff.
I think a lot of people also are taking coffee, stimulants, Red Bull, whatever they're taking at other times, and the half-life of caffeine molecule is pretty long. Yeah. So they're not realizing what that's affecting their.
Well, they're getting jittery and
all that stuff.
And you look at the absorption rates of everything. So somebody's like, you know, I drink a pot of coffee, but then I can take a Red Bull, which has synthetic caffeine. Ours has synthetic caffeine. It technically is better from an absorption standpoint, whereas coffee has other compounds
to work with it. Exactly.
Work with it in a different sense. They're both potentially good. It depends on the context.
It's like yohimbine and yohimbe bark.
Correct. Yeah.
Some people are
might have 1,000 other compounds that fuck you up, whereas pure yohimbine,
you know, it's
one singular compound that's going to have one singular benefit. You can dose it appropriately. So that's why something like the mucinopurians that's in ours, it's an herbal compound, but it's standardized. Ours is at 99% with L-DOPA.
I'm a big fan of that. I've taken it for years.
Most of the other companies are putting, you know, let's say 250 to to 500 milligrams of mucuna in there, but they're at 50% standardization. So not only are you getting a much smaller dose of the active L-DOPA, but you're getting a much larger dose of potentially unwanted compounds that may have goofy interactions
with other stuff.
With other stuff that's in there. I'd rather take a more pure product, knowing that the L-DOPA is what I want.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this. When you look at the research on the L-DOPA on the mucuna supplementation, it's kind of the more the merrier. The companies that are putting 150 milligrams of mucuna at 50%, you're going to get 75 milligrams of L-DOPA. That's not going to do anything. You're not going to notice any mood.
I was taking multiple grams when I was taking the powder by itself.
All the research on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and cognitive decline is all in multiple gram quantities. For our standpoint, we don't have the cognitive decline of somebody, like an Alzheimer's patient, but we're looking
the preventative
aspect of it, and also the synergy with the choline and with the new peptin there. Basically to make you feel good. We wanted you to go into the workout and be super motivated,
positive attitude,
pain, positive attitude, a motivation and a drive to do it. But then on the other end of the formula, it's here's the ingredients that give you the physical sensation. So you have the creatine, the beta-alanine, the agmatine, all these things that are blood flow and performance enhancing agents to decrease acid buildup and increase ATP regeneration to give you the physical capabilities. And then we have the cognitive and the mood elevation aspect that gives you the motivation. And then we have the energy blend that kind of kicks up your adrenaline and gets you moving. I mean, people that literally take this will say, I wanted to keep going. I didn't feel bad about getting on the treadmill and running for 20 minutes after my workout. I felt like I wanted to do it. So I think a lot of people, and we've talked about this, a lot of people neglect the cognitive aspect of what they're doing. The motivational aspect, that the thinking behind it. Self-guided, meditation and being intrinsically motivated are big things. But if you can augment that with clinical, efficacious doses of the right ingredients, one scoop thing, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Put them in there, and that way it's an all-encompassing product. So you're not going to find anything in there that doesn't serve a purpose. You're not going to find anything in there that tricks you into thinking that the product is working. We're not going to boatload the niacin or overdose the beta-alanine or put in, yohimbe bark in a pre-workout so that you get blood pressure increases and anxiety and sweats just to make you think it's doing something. You're not going to find 12 different versions of caffeine. A lot of companies are putting, all these hybridized caffeine sources. They're all going to basically do the same thing. And like we've just discussed, caffeine has a long half-life and it stays active. I mean, unless you're having a 5-hour workout, regular caffeine will do the trick. You don't need 12 different versions of caffeine. You get some companies.
You're going to hit weird spikes in that, I feel like, where you're like, one set you feel good, and then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you feel like, whoa.
Caffeine kicks up, and then it's stable for a while, and then it slowly drops off, which is how it should work, going into your workout and over the duration of your workout. When you have those goofy spikes, you get goofy spikes in the middle of the workout, depending on what exercise you're doing, but at the same time, a lot of people get anxiety from that sort of thing. So the companies that are overdosing the caffeine, they might put 500 milligrams in a product, but it's hidden over 5 types of caffeine, 100 milligrams a piece, all hidden in different names of whatever they're doing. And then to cut the anxiety, they're putting something like picamilin in there, which is like a GABA niacin hybrid compound, which is a cool compound for cutting off the stimulant-based anxiety. But I'm of the opinion is, why not just put the right amounts of the right stimulants in there, so that most people don't feel like they're going to have a heart attack. Now you don't have to cut the anxiety with a GABA-based compound. GABA is a very relaxing,
nighttime type after
compound.
Work, chill out.
So putting that in a pre-workout,
it's like bourbon, isn't it? No.
Awesome. That bourbon nightcap,
Well, you ready to
go
hit it?
In my GABA nightcap, so we're going to go throw down on some back. We're just going to kind of wing it. We'll see how our old man bones are crunching today, and
awesome.
We'll get it done.